Hello, this video is for all of our West End security officers. First of all, I want to say hello. My name is Doug. I'm General Manager for Belcom Inc. And I want to say hello to you and welcome all of you to the team. Thank you for taking a few moments to watch this video. The reason I thought it was important for me to put together this video is because we're still in what we call the transition period. The West End has transitioned to Belcom Inc. as their security provider, and you all have, most of you have been working for the previous vendor and are now working for Belcom Inc. And with that comes a little bit of growing pains, a few pain points, so to speak. And I just want to make sure that we keep the lines of communication open and that I'm as transparent as possible with you about expectations that we have of you and what you can expect from us. So this particular video is just going to cover three quick areas, and it should only take a few minutes. But we're going to talk about communication, vehicle usage, and then scheduling and call-offs. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. But the first thing I want to say is, again, welcome aboard, and thank you very much for all the work that you're doing. We are into this about 3 or 4 weeks now, and I've already seen some really great things. You guys are working really hard. You folks have taken on extra shifts when asked to do so. And you're really just a really great group of people, and I want you to know how much I appreciate it. I hope you appreciate working with Belcom as well. We're trying to do our best to support you and take care of your needs. If things come up that you need, I want to make sure that you know how to reach us and who to reach for whatever that need might be. So first of all, communication. I want to point out a few things. First of all, for everyday run-of-the-mill communications, just the kind of thing where you want to tell somebody about this or that, or you have an issue that comes up, you can always send a message to the operations manager via Humanity. Now, right now, I am the temporary operations manager. That will change soon. We've been in the process of hiring a new operations manager, and when that happens, we'll certainly let you know. But in the meantime, I'm the operations manager. I'm acting as operations manager and general manager. So you can certainly send a message through Humanity to me, and I think you all know how to do that. If not, you just go into your Humanity app, go to the message section, and send your message, find my name, and it'll go to me. You can also call the office during regular office hours, and that's between 9 and 5 Monday through Friday, and that number is 651-344-8404. And again, this is for just run-of-the-mill communication, things that you want to pass on to somebody from the office or talk about, things that are non-urgent. That's the issue I'm getting at. For urgent or emergency matters, like call-offs, for example, you need to call the emergency phone. That phone number is 651-346-9129. Now, I can't stress this enough. If you are calling off for a shift, you need to call that phone number. Here's the other thing I can't stress enough. That phone is rarely ever answered. When I carry that phone, I do not answer it. There's a lot of reasons for that, but the simple fact of the matter is that phone is not answered, so don't expect somebody to answer it. Here's what you need to do. When you call that phone, you need to leave a voice message. It'll go to voice message and just whatever your message may be. I'm supposed to be at work at 7 in the morning. I've got typhoid, flu, or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to be able to make it to work, that sort of thing. You want to leave that message, and then you can hang up, and somebody, if necessary, somebody will call you back if it's something urgent that needs to be responded to. Let's see here. Next thing I want to mention regarding communications is if you have just a message regarding something like payroll issues, or you're wondering if your uniform was ordered or something like that, you can also call the office number at 651-344-8404, and you can speak with whoever answers the phone, or if you call during off hours, that's okay. You can leave a message at that number as well. But like I said, that phone is answered during the day, during regular office hours, between 9 and 5, Monday through Friday. For payroll or HR issues, you can send an email also to help@pssecurityguard.com. That's really probably the best way to communicate if you have something like a payroll issue. It's also the best way for you to communicate if you have a uniform issue. And this is what I mean. If you got a situation where your uniforms are getting worn out or you need a replacement for one thing or another, that is the best way to do it, is to send an email to help@pssecurityguard.com. That's the most efficient way to handle that. Let's move on to vehicle issues. A couple things I want to say about vehicles. First of all, continue doing your vehicle inspection logs on SilverTrack. Make sure that you do one at the beginning of your shift. You check out the vehicle. You're ensuring that there's no new damage to the vehicle in the interior, exterior. You're reporting on anything that's going on in the vehicle. You want to do that through SilverTrack, so keep doing that. The other thing I want to mention is that our vehicle at West End is fueled 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you can expect that. It is not fueled over the weekend. I have learned recently that for some reason or another, we're going through a great deal of fuel between Saturday and Sunday. I don't know what that's all about, but I'll be looking into it. But at this point, we're fueling the vehicle on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, this week, we will start having car washes done over at, what's it called, Waterworks, over there by the Speedway station on Louisiana, off of 394. So when the field services tech picks up the vehicle and washes it, at least once a week, they'll be running it through the car wash. That probably won't start until later on this week, but we've got that set up, so we're good to go on that end. I know that vehicle is getting kind of filthy, so we'll be taking care of that. Here's something new. Anytime you get in the vehicle and it has half a tank of gas or less, I need you to send a text message to the emergency phone 651-346-9129. Send a text message, and all you have to do is say the West End vehicle, or vehicle 104, is at half a tank or below half a tank. That's all you have to do. Somebody may or may not respond, but I need you to send that text. If you get in the vehicle and the vehicle has a quarter tank of gas or less, do not drive the vehicle, all right? Somebody should have already been alerted that we need fuel in that vehicle by then, because somebody should have notified us when it was at a half a tank. But do not drive the vehicle unless it's some sort of emergency. But there should be somebody en route to make sure that the vehicle is fueled up at that point. And again, I will be looking into why we seem to be using so much so much fuel. If there are urgent problems with the vehicle, for example, you're driving down the street and 2 of the wheels fall off, that sort of thing, or if you're at a stoplight or a stop sign and the engine spontaneously combusts, those kinds of urgent emergency issues, again, I need you to use the emergency phone and send a text and say, hey, I'm over at the West End in vehicle 104, and the engine just spontaneously caught on fire. The fire department's here. They're putting out the blaze, or the wheels just fell off, whatever the case may be. And we will address that issue immediately. Again, do not call that number expecting somebody to answer the phone, because it's not going to happen. But we do need you to leave a message. Somebody will listen to that message and get back to you right away if, in fact, you need a return phone call. But if there's an urgent or emergency issue with the vehicle, make sure that you send a text message to the emergency phone number. Do not just put that on your vehicle inspection log and think that that's going to be enough. It's not enough. That needs to be brought to somebody's attention urgently, and the vehicle inspection logs are not reviewed on an urgent basis. So make sure that we do that. The next thing I want to mention about vehicles is that we do have shop days set up now twice a week for that vehicle, twice a month for that vehicle. They happen on alternate Thursdays. When we have issues with that vehicle, like right now I know that there's a check engine light on in the vehicle. That's something that needs to be taken to the shop. That will be done on the shop day. Again, if it's an urgent issue, we'll take care of that immediately. But for something like the check engine light or something like that, we will simply take that on the shop day. So the field services tech will take that vehicle on Thursday, get it to the shop, and get it back as soon as possible. We will always leave a replacement vehicle whenever we pick up 104. Let's see here. Final thing about vehicles. Vehicle 104, the West End vehicle, is not to leave the perimeter of the West End for any reason without prior approval from management. That vehicle is to be used only within the perimeter at the West End. If somebody's planning on going home for lunch or something, you shouldn't be leaving the site anyway. But the vehicle is not to leave the site, period, other than for something that has been approved by management. And if you have some urgent need, some urgent business need to leave the west end perimeter in the vehicle, you need to get prior approval from management to do that. So we talked about communications and vehicle uses or vehicle issues. The last thing that I want to cover is scheduling and call-offs. First thing I want to say about scheduling and call-offs is that we have at Belcom, everybody owns a schedule. You are given certain days off per week, or certain days you're supposed to work, or certain hours you're supposed to work. Those are your hours, and we expect you to cover those hours. They are your responsibility. Our end of the deal is we are not going to give your hours away to somebody else. Your end of the deal is you will work your assigned shifts, okay? Now, we know that life happens. Sometimes people get sick. Sometimes, you have an emergency at home. Sometimes your pet goat gets out of the pen and you have to go and chase them down. Whatever the case may be, we understand that. Here's the deal. All shifts that are not filled, if you have a missed shift, if it is not pre-approved by management, it is considered an unexcused absence. I know you may have a doctor's note. You may have a note from, I don't know, the U.S. Army saying that you were detained for 3 days because you looked suspicious. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, all right, if you miss a shift and it was not pre-approved by management, it is an unexcused absence. Now, excessive unexcused absences can result in discipline up to and including termination from employment. Now, nobody is going to fire you because you had one unexcused absence. However, if anyone continues to have unexcused absences, it certainly can lead to discipline. I'm hoping that we can all agree that that is reasonable. We do need to get these shifts staffed. They need to be filled. We have hired you to do this job. If you are unwilling or unable to work your shifts, we have to get somebody in there that can or will work the shifts. So that is an unexcused absence. Now, we do allow for shift switches. If you want to switch shifts with another employee, that is just fine. However, here are the rules. You have to switch an equal amount of hours with another employee within the same pay week, all right? Within the same pay week. So, our pay weeks run from Saturday through Friday. So if you are scheduled to work on Wednesday and you've got a hot date or whatever the case may be and you want that day off, you can switch with somebody who has Wednesdays off, and then you can work for them on Thursday, or you can work for them on Monday, you can work for them on Friday, as long as it's within the same pay week, as long as it's the same amount of hours. Why? The reason why is because that allows us to control unbilled overtime. If we continue to have employees just working overtime whenever they want, or people giving away their shifts for somebody who wants to work overtime, then the company is not profitable, and then nobody gets to keep their jobs, okay? So, you can switch shifts, you just have to do it within the same pay week, and it has to be an equal amount of hours. Now, if you have an emergency where you can't work, you can't come in for your next shift, we definitely appreciate it if you're able to arrange for somebody to come in and work for you. It's best if somebody can switch shifts with you, and then it does not go down as an unexcused absence. It's just a wash is what it is. However, if it turns out that you can't get anybody to switch with you, but they will work overtime, they will cover your shift for you, we appreciate that. It will go in as an unexcused absence, but at least the shift is covered, and we're not looking at an open shift or an open post or somebody just abandoning their post, all right? So that's the way to handle it. In any case, whether you're doing a shift switch or whether you're getting somebody to come in for you because you have an emergency or you're sick or something like that, it is imperative that you notify the office of this. If it happens during regular business hours, you can certainly call the office and let somebody know. But the most important thing you can do is use that emergency phone number, 651-346-9129. Either text or call that phone number and say, this is so-and-so, my shift is coming up at this particular time, I am not able to make it, I am coughing up a lung, whatever the case may be, and let them know that you have switched with this employee. They've agreed to come in, and that allows us to change the schedule so that the other person that's coming in for you can actually clock in and get credit for the hours that they worked. And number two, it alerts the office so that we know that you're not at work, but somebody else is at work. Okay? So if there are questions about that, please feel free to send me an email or a message on Humanity, and I will certainly try to answer your questions. We covered a lot of ground here in just a few minutes. We talked about, excuse me, talked about communications, we talked about vehicle issues, and we talked about scheduling and call-offs, all right? Remember, if you're going to call off, you have to call the emergency phone. That is the only number you can call if you plan to miss your shift. 651-346-9129. You cannot just give away your shifts to somebody else because they want more hours and you don't want to work. You can only do a shift switch, which allows you to work the same amount of hours for them that they're going to work for you within the same pay week. Or if something comes up and you can't make it to work and you get somebody else to work for you, but it's going to be overtime, at the very least, in either case, you must call the emergency phone, 651-346-9129, and let somebody know that this shift is being switched or that you're not going to be at work. All right? Again, I want to thank you all for your hard work and your dedication. I really, truly appreciate it. But thank you for everything you're doing, and we're really glad to have you on board. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about the company so that you could have it. And as we get another operations manager, somebody that's going to be stepping into this role, we will make sure that everybody has that individual's contact information and that they come out and get a chance to meet with each of you. All right? Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day. Bye now.